So, in this video, what we're gonna do is replace the starter on this Ford Focus. And from what I've saw or read, you have to take the intake in order to access the starter. So that's what we're gonna be doing in this video.
Why so serious?
Recording?
Yeah.
Apparently, my camera girl has never operated a cell phone before. Because before this clip, I've had my picture taken. I had the phone flipped the wrong way. Here's the alternator. So, I don't know what's making this alternator bad. Starter bad, but it turns one way. I don't know if it's the other way that it's supposed to turn. I don't know, but it clicks. Smells burnt up. It smells burnt to shit. But anyways, what is this? The alternator sits on the vehicle like this. Pat. There's this piece of shit nonsense ass bracket that covers it like this, right? These are one of the screws that goes through it. Boom. That's the screw that's the bolt you gotta unbolt to take the starter out. But apparently, prior to that, you got this thing here with another bolt on top of it with this long ass bolt here for no reason. It could have been half the size. So you gotta use a long 10 for that. So don't need that. I'm gonna cut this off. But you got one up here and one down here. The one up here you can get from the top of the car. The one down here you gotta get underneath the car. And then you got this bolt here and this bolt here you gotta remove before you can just lift the starter off. Starter just comes right out. If it's a little stuck, just get a pry bar and just wiggle it and it'll come out. So next clip you'll see is me with the new starter. Or, yeah, the new starter. Okay, mental note while you're doing this. When trying to take this intake out, be careful because right here on the alternator, you got a plug that's right here. I was jiggling the intake up and down, trying to see, what else I needed to disconnect, and there's like a thin wire that goes to that plug, which the plug is right here. This plug has a thin wire on it. There's a thin wire on this that close to the tip broke off, and I had to cut a piece of plastic to get more of the wire exposed so I can rewire it. So I had to rewire this plug that plugs into the alternator, right here. And then actually no, that wire goes there, but right next to it, right there, where my finger's pointing, is where that plug goes in. So you have that connecting here, and then this plug I just showed you goes right there. Be careful of that. Also, there's this piece here. Let me turn my light on. There's this piece here. See that little black box that's in the front of the motor? This is the front. There's this little plastic case that has that right there, which I believe is the PCV valve. Well, there's a piece of plastic hose that goes from there, and if you look at the intake, that's the intake, that's how it goes on. Underneath the intake, it plugs into here. That's snapped in half like nothing. So I had to go get this hose here so I can I'm gonna clamp it on. I'm gonna clamp it on right here, and then clamp it on to the other end. Clamp it onto the other end, which is right here. This is the end that plugs into that. So I'm gonna see how much of this I need, so I can just I'm gonna cut it like right above this first. That's how I did it on the bottom part. I'm gonna cut it right here so that the hose fits nice and snug onto this, and then I'm gonna clamp it onto that. Be careful of those two things. Also, on the I have it turned like this because there's that hose right there that goes connected to it, as well as right there with the red ring. So instead of taking those out and destroying something, I just decided to lift it up and move it out the way like this, and then you can access the alternator from right there. So that was the little minor setback that I had when doing this. So time lapse of putting everything back on. Okay, so got the hose cut up to the size that it should be to fit. Got the hose clamps on. Got this all shrink. I got this soldered, shrink wrapped, and I put electrified tape onto it. Plugged up, screwed in. Everything's good to go. Now what you're gonna see me do is put the alternator on, put the intake back on, and we'll be done. The vehicle is started fine. I'm not seeing any leaks anywhere at all. I'm gonna need a new belt, because when I started it started to squeal and kind of burn a little bit. But that's about it. Everything's running fine. I got my butt about 12. So good. There you have it, guys. And thank you guys for watching. There you have it. Have a nice day.